newness from the Corolla. This is the debut event. It's got off the hood racing car. He builds things for Brentford Dino, and then he's going to want to build a prep car, so we build a quick tyre. The Turbo LS Gemini, that thing's going to be quick.
How did it go, mate?
Just bushfire with the power coming. Holy shit. You forget how shit that track is.
Oh, it is slippery, eh?
It's definitely not one I want to pedal. It's very floaty.
I can't believe you got it done.
It's very, very watered.
I've been watching and thinking...
Oh, she's cold. Not cold at all. It's fine.
Today for six-cylinder force, brought to us by JW Racing on debut, first time he's ever run the car, Scott Hoffman in the Corolla panel wagon. The paint's nearly dry. If anyone can help out with some mirror glass for a KE70, Hoff needs a couple of mirror glasses and a left-hand brake light bulb. Thanks, Hoff. On your Hoff.
Alright, so that was OZAid Quick Street at Kooralbyn Runway. Pretty cold out there at night, apparently. That was the debut event for the Things Corolla. Can't lie, I'm pretty bloody stoked with how it went. Pretty much went out there Friday, defrosted myself Saturday morning, had some breakfast, jumped in the car. Never had been over 10 k's an hour, so we actually drove down the runway at about 50, made sure it was going to stop, turn, you know, not fall to bits. And that's pretty much how I rolled into the first race. Never been, well, not the first race, the first test run. Never been over 50 k's an hour. And let the trans brake go, it left wheel spin. We obviously put a slow boost ramp in it. I think it left at 3 pounds, made 28 or something in the deep end, and it just blew tyres off. I could feel the suspension separate, which was really great, except I think at about 2/3 track it ran out of separation, and that was sort of making the tyre unload and just turning it into wheel spin. The first day, obviously it's a new car, there's an overwhelming lot of variables. We didn't bother playing around with any traction control stuff. We just said stuff it, we'll go and run it off the pedal and drive it like that, see what falls off, fix it, and rinse and repeat. Turns out it did like 6-7 passes. I didn't even have to open the bonnet. There's no leaks. Didn't even open the laptop. Just went and enjoyed it. What I did discover is, unlike the stuff Corolla, when it gets a bit squirrely, it feels like it wants to roll over. So wasn't 100% confident in staying on it and being a hero. So if it did get squirrely, I was getting off it. But on that day, there was actually the cash, the buy-in 32 car round, which actually made it to the last 3. Just pedaling it, and actually got beaten by the Nana Corolla, the Nana Gemini, which that thing's fast. It's been developed for a long time, and he got a car out on me, stayed there, and then spinning ain't winning. He ended up winning that cash. Good on him, congratulations. He wouldn't disclose what his draggy times are, but I think I'm getting closer to him. The next day, obviously, the night before, I thought, stuff it, the thing's quick, we'll go and put some tail shaft stuff in it, and went through a few logs, tried to find what the actual acceleration rate of tail shaft would be like versus race time. Bit hard when there's wheel spin and crap going on. And luckily enough, Kai Knight from Knight Family Motorsports was there in the morning. My laptop was dead, we used his, and I said, well, while you're there, tell me what you'd do. And he was nice enough to set up some ramps for me, and it actually works. I mean, the car's chassis is flawed, we're running out of separation, but it went from pedaling at every pass to holding it flat every pass, and we just keep bumping up where the line was, how much it was allowed to spin, and it kept going 10th faster, 10th faster, 10th faster, and then actually ended up winning the final in the 6-cylinder turbo class, which is exactly what I went there to do. The final was against that Rotten Olive Datsun 1600, which is actually what won the event last year. Those guys have got hundreds of passes on that car. The fact that I could even get near them, I'm fucking impressed about. They said that they didn't have it on the correct boost ramp or something, but it would have been a close race. I'm pretty sure I still would have had a chance. So obviously next time they'll be coming back for me, which great. That's what it's all about. I shouldn't have probably used 5-year-old radials either. They're pretty hard, and at Kooralbyn there you can't actually go and do a burnout unless you want to sacrifice a pass and do one, which some people were. And then to make it worse, they were making us taxi back through the paddock over wet grass, which there's no chance of keeping any heat in the tyre. Other than that, weekend was great. The car survived completely. I think the only damage is I lost all of my mirrors. The glass fell out of that one, so I probably got the worst visibility car with no mirrors, so I had to be pretty careful when I was backing up. Some scratches on the door card from my foot trying to get over the bars, and a bit of grass on the carpet, and that's about it. It's flawless. Next event for it, I think, will be roll racing. The main problem we were having with the car, ultimately, it's got an 8-inch travel shock in it, and we set it neutral, so it had about 4-inch up, 4-inch down, and I'm pretty sure as it was driving out, separating, it was topping the shock out, and that's what was making it sort of lose traction at 2/3 track. So during this week, next week, whatever, I'll move the shock so that we've got maybe 2 up, 6 down, something like that, and then we're going to try and go to roll racing. I know from the stuff Corolla that, at Kooralbyn it was completely useless at roll racing. It actually hooks quite good on that little tyre. If I can get this thing to hook at roll racing, it's going to be fast. Got a few people to thank. This last couple of weeks, a few of my mates came aboard and gave me a good old hand with this thing after hours. Also drank beer and talked shit, but we got it done. Obviously Peter Kyprios, he's built the motor, the box, the diff. The guy's a legend. I can't break his engines, they're over the top flawless. Obviously Dave, 180 Fab, pretty much everything that's aluminium and stainless on this car, he just pumped out for me. Can't fault it. Everything just worked first time. Luke came and gave me a hand, pretty much donated like 4 or 5 nights of his time. My mate Peter Beattie, Dan Meredith, the guy who actually sold this car to me. I think he's in love with it and wants it back, but he probably can't afford it. Obviously my wife and my kids, they haven't seen me in about 3 weeks. That takes its toll as well. But at the end of the day, I've now got a car, that we can go and do something other than proper drag racing in, which is going to take even more time away from my family. But anyway, I might start bringing my boys with me. They're really getting into it. Alright, so the next time you see this car is probably going to be at roll racing, I'd say. If we can get that suspension to work. Obviously, like I said, we've got to figure out how to stop the bloody thing. Brakes didn't feel that bad actually, so I reckon they should be okay. I was supposed to run the K10 at QDRC this weekend. I've actually entered the event without realising I actually have 2 dyno highs on the same day and I cannot move them. So next event for me will be a month away. It'll be this, at roll racing. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.